Hey again, Dr. Bennett Cameron here from the University of Texas at Arlington, and we're going to keep talking about etudes and etude preparation today. The thing I'm going to focus on right now is talking about rhythm, which is a topic that's near and dear to my heart, as any of my current or former students can tell you. It's really important to make sure that you have the best tools at your disposal to play accurate rhythms, and that is subdivision. The other tool you're going to need is subdivision. You'll also need a metronome and some more subdivision, and I think that about covers it. So we're actually going to jump into Milde number 17, which is one of the Texas All-State etudes this year for TMEA, and we're going to talk about how to strip away the embellishments and really focus on the bass rhythm. We're going to talk about how to deal with really long notes and how to count them and not get lost or fall asleep while you're doing it. We're going to talk about subdivision and how to use it, whether you're subdividing the quarter note, the 8th note, or even the 16th note. There are places in this etude that I think it's really important to subdivide at the 16th note level. So we're going to jump in and talk about all that, talk about how to strip it down, and then how to add it all back in for a really effective performance and preparation. Thanks. So here are the opening bars of Milde 17. This gives us a lot to chew on rhythmically. We've got long notes, we've got fivelets, we've got ornaments, we've got ties, we've got dots, and we've got whatever the heck that is in measure 4. So before I begin, I want to look at the tempo and ask myself, what is a good reading tempo for this? And what, more importantly, is a good reading subdivision for this? We're looking at bar number 4. I'm telling myself, I really don't want to read this at the quarter note. That would be a hot mess. And I honestly don't even think I want to read this at the 8th note, because these 5 notes, man, that's a lot to fit in one 8th note. So I think what we want to do is we want to read this at the 16th note level. So measure 4, for the time being, we're going to read that at 16th note equals something. Maybe we can start at 60. But before we do, we want to plan out our tick marks and know exactly how many 16th notes belong in each note. There's 1, there's 1, there's 1, that one gets 3, that one gets a lot. Okay, the other thing I want to do before I read is I want to go ahead and plan on breaking that tie. So I know exactly how that 32nd note F is supposed to go, exactly how long it's going to be without worrying about the tie. So let's try that. Nice, that went really well. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try it at 63. Then I'll try it at 65. And then I'll go on and on and on until my 16th note tempo is 100. And if I can play it at 16th note equals 100, then I'd probably go ahead and reintroduce that tie. And if all of that goes well, the next thing I would do is I would go ahead and switch the metronome from 16th note equals 100 to 8th note equals 50, because that is actually the same tempo as 16th note equals 100. Then I would also make sure to reapply my tick marks in the correct places so I know where all of those 8th note clicks go. Then once I've got it to 8th note equals 50 and I'm feeling really good about that, I think I could go ahead and read the rest of the etude as well. So now that we've got a nice tempo of 8th note equals 50, I'm going to go ahead and apply some more tick marks. So I know how long these notes are going to be. I want to plan on breaking as many of the ties as I see. Again, because we really want to know how to articulate everything. And then I also want to plan on leaving out any ornamentations. Once I can play this cut really well at 8th note equals 50 with no ornamentations and without using the ties, then I would go ahead and add the ties back in. Once I feel comfortable adding the ties back in, the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to evaluate how on earth to do this ornament. So this is a turn, and the natural beneath indicates that the note under the principal note, which is F, will be an E natural. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play the turn out of context. Then maybe speed it up. Then, at 8th note equals 50, I'm going to reintroduce it. So starting right there on this half note. First, I'm going to make sure that I have all of the tick marks that I need, and then I'm going to plan on this second tick mark being the turn right there. So I'm going to isolate just this section right there, paying careful attention to the metronome. Here we go. Nice. I feel pretty good about that. So now I can say without a shadow of a doubt that I know really well how to play the opening bars of Milde 17 because I left out the ties, I left out the ornaments, I really zoomed in and learned the difficult passages at a slow tempo, and I reintroduced everything, sped up the metronome, and I feel pretty good about it. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for tuning in.